There is so many religions in the world, and each one of us find their peace and love in a certain book. It might be Bible, it might be Quran, it might be Buddha, Gita, I don't know. We have so many gods, so many images of God in this world. But the deeper you go, the more you realize that those images are the same. They just show the same kind of truth from the different perspectives. And I feel at some point you don't even need that image of Jesus or God or Buddha. It's just it. And each one of this book contains certain rules for life maybe, or advices or philosophy of concept, how to live our life with peace and love in our heart. Those rules are quite similar from one religion to another. It's like don't steal, don't lie, be humble, be in service for other people, put others first rather than yourself. And this kind of conclusions I came myself without any kind of religion. Some of us find these answers through the books, some of us find these answers through the life, some of us find these answers through self-reflection like I did. But there is just one simple idea. If you have this idea in your mind, if you have this concept, if you feel this, it's not just a knowledge, it's more like a feeling. If you hold this knowledge, it answers every single question. And none of these stories, none of these religions, none of these books are now needed anymore. And I'm talking about the idea of oneself. When you perceive yourself, other self, himself, herself as oneself, as just one consciousness, when you perceive life as one single consciousness manifests through lots of different forms of life here, it just all makes sense. And that's the end of the road. It's done. You don't feel like searching for answers anymore. You don't feel like anything. It's just done. That's it. If we are one single consciousness of life here is happening, what else can be done? It doesn't matter if you accept this idea or no, if your ego, your mind believes in this idea or no, it doesn't matter, it's happening anyway. But with this idea comes peace in your heart, and it just gives you such a liberation, and you finally can say, that's it, I found it. There is no more questions arises in your mind, there is no more answers needed, because that's it, it's done. When every single one of us, when every single manifestation of life find this peace in their heart, find this answer, find this peace in their mind and heart, it's done. I must say it's much easier to find this peace in your heart and in your mind when you have your human needs met, when your stomach is full, when you have shelter, and when your basic needs are covered. I think it's very disturbing and very hard to find peace and love in your heart when those basic needs of the human body are not met. And must be the reason for that. I don't think it's impossible. I believe it's possible. Even when the entire world is ruining around you, I think it's possible to find peace in your heart. But somehow, such a beautiful environment, and just having food on your table, having a loving partner makes it much easier, I must say. And in that sense, I feel privileged in life. Life brought me to such a place where I can find those things easily. But I've not always been here. I don't like admitting it, but I don't know any other door rather than suffering. When you suffer so much and you search for the answer, for relief of your pain so much, you try different things. You're trying to find the relief of pain maybe through trying different experiences, through gaining knowledge, through your partner. And once you realize none of this can be answered, you go deep inside, and that's where you find your real answer. This is where you don't have question anymore. This is where it's done, when you just see life as oneself. But for me, to push me into that realization, into that door, for me it was suffering. I don't know if there is any other human door here. And now what I'm doing here, since I realized that I'm still existing in this physical world through my ego, this is how I live my life, through the certain ideas, through the certain actions, through my body, through my words, and this is all my ego manifested here. But now, since I have this idea of oneness, I kind of train my ego to be as compatible as possible to this concept of oneness. And this is where these rules from many religions come into place. Don't steal, be humble, put others first than yourself. It's just a natural thing that you do when you perceive yourself as such. When the idea of separation fades in your mind, it's not even a question anymore. Should I help others? Because when you help others, you help in yourself anyway, because there is no others, there is no yourself, this is just oneself. So the only thing that you can help is just oneself. So when someone is thirsty and wants to have a drink, you perceive in someone as yourself, and you understand it's just parts of you who is thirsty and want to have a drink, and you offer that drink the same way as you would drink yourself if you would be thirsty. It's not even rules needed to be applying for your mind. And I feel if this idea of oneness would be installed within us from very early age, that could be a very different world. But everything happens at the right place, at the right time. So the world the way it's supposed to be, the world the way it should be. And it's so beautiful to see people around to waking up to this idea more and more. I literally don't meet anyone in my life almost who don't perceive life the same way as I do in terms of oneness. Of course, everyone has their own languages, just like national languages, because I'm mostly surrounded by foreigners. Here we're in Georgia and there are so many truckers from all over the place passing us, and generally I live in Dubai, and Dubai is a place of expats. And you can see how every single nation have their own culture, their own belief, their own religion, but it's just all the same. When you meet someone and talk with someone, you don't feel like, oh, I'm Russian, you are Indian, or you are Georgian. You don't feel any of that. You just feel, I'm a human being, you're a human being, and we just one self here. And even we speak different languages, different concepts, and different definitions of life, you can feel in your heart that this person just mean the same thing. You can feel in your heart this love and peace that you have in your heart being reflected in other person. If you meet someone who you see maybe is not awakened to this idea and maybe disturbed by events in the world, by fear in life, you don't try to prove anything or show anything. You just patiently, lovingly wait till this person wakes up as well, and you respect this person's journey. You don't interrupt. You don't say you're wrong. You don't try to teach or do anything. You just being a loving observer, absolutely passive, not interrupting their journey, respecting their ways and their timing as much as you respect your ways and your timing. I understand I still have a long way to go till this concept of oneness will be not just in my mind but in my life as well, more and more. And this was happening maybe for the last 3 years, and just the general feeling of life improved a lot. But my human part, my ego part, excited that there is still some way to accomplish there. There is still a long way till this oneness will be pure manifestation in my life. And my human part is excited about it. And now I live this human avatar, and I have this certain concept and certain ideas and certain feelings and certain words that comes through my mind and certain actions that comes through my body. But I don't perceive this as myself. Those are just things that happening with life itself, and those are just things that my ego believes in a certain concept. My ego feels a certain way about certain things, but I am none of it. Once you're able to separate your feelings, your thoughts, your body from essence of you, from what is God, what is consciousness, what is Tao, what is Jesus, what is light, what is life, it gives you freedom. And that's it. It's just one simple idea that solves everything, solves every single one of your ego requests and questions to life, because you, what is you in your essence, doesn't have any question. There is no even questions arises. The question arises only within your mind, within your ego. And when you have this concept, every single one of it can be answered. Once I realized that, maybe 3 years ago, I started spreading this idea of oneness to everyone, and not everyone around me was ready to accept it, and this just turned into arguments and trying to prove my point, and this has nothing to do with oneness itself. Oneness itself doesn't try to prove anything to anyone. It just exists in its being, and that's what I'm learning to do here, just existing in my being. I wanted to spread this message as wide as possible. That's why I made this book on Amazon 3 years ago. That's why I was trying to prove my points to so many people. But after I realized only my being can help other people to see, to feel it. There is nothing else. I cannot just argue with my mind, because there is another thing that you realize. You actually never tell anything new to other people. If you're watching this video and you're agreeing with me right now, it's not because I'm sharing some new concept with you. It's because there is something that you already know within yourself, and something inside of you just agreeing on what it's already known. And this is what's happening to other people. You cannot prove anything to anyone. They can only agree on a certain things that they already agreed with themselves. So there is no other way but just respect everyone's else journey on this subject. No point to try to prove and throw this idea to anyone's head. The best thing you can do is just love others, respect their journeys, and be an example of being. That's it. That's just the best you can do so far. And that's what I'm trying to do with this channel here. Your ego, my ego, same ego have so many questions to life. In my videos I try to answer these questions with oneness and with love, and I hope it helps. If it helps, please let me know about it in the comment. Also, you can support me in a PayPal or in Patreon page. It's appreciated a lot. Thank you so much for being here, for participating in this journey of becoming one with me together here. And I love you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.